Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome back to another video. Well, let's check it out. Let's see what I got for you right now. If you like those sports cars from back in the 80s from Japan, that was kind of like the birth of a new modern powered, cars that you might like to see on the roads, but from brands that you still quite were trying to understand if they were going to be reliable or they were going to be another hoopty doopty that you're going to be seeing on the side of the road after 3 months. Well, these are the cars for you. Now, let me explain to you why I say that. But before that, I'm going to give it a proper presentation. What I have for you right now, it's a 143 scale 1988 Mitsubishi Starion 2600 GSR-VR. As a typical Japanese car, has the length of a whole sentence as a name because they have to make sure they put the name, how many valves, what's the model, and how many. I mean, really, just make it simple. That's my only saying. But going back to this nice looking 80s Japanese car, I said before anything, it's a brand that was still quite being established. It's because Mitsubishi, it's a brand example in North American market. It's a brand that was just getting started in the 80s in the North American market. Because remember, Mitsubishi before was known as providing models for Dodge, for Plymouth, for Chrysler. I mean, those were the models that were being shown in North America. I'm talking about the North American market. And Mitsubishi itself, it was not as quite as fast as Toyota or Honda or even Subaru was to establish their name. And I don't really feel that they ever got to establish their name as a big competitor for the other Japanese brands because unfortunately, you know, Mitsubishi had a bit of good cars and some cars that were not the greatest. So unfortunately, they were trying to keep up with the other markets. I think Mitsubishi suffered from what Suzuki suffered in the North American market, and Daihatsu too. But Mitsubishi right now, from the brands that are still being sold here, still kind of like being challenged. But nowadays they changed. They're a lot more, modernized and a lot more quite respected in a way I can say. But back in the 80s, these models, you don't see them around no more. Maybe they're not the most reliable. Maybe people didn't trust them like that. To start it all with, the Mitsubishi Starion was built between 1983 till 1989. They were also called Mitsubishi Colt Starion, Chrysler Conquest, Dodge Conquest, or Plymouth Conquest. So Chrysler company makes sure they cover the Conquest name for you in each other brands. Okay, let's talk about engines. They had a 2.0 four-cylinder, a 2.0 turbo four-cylinder, and then you had the bigger one, which is a 2.6 turbo four-cylinder. Transmissions, you had a 5-speed manual transmission or a 4-speed automatic. I like Mitsubishi. I said it before. I like their models. I quite find them attractive. Believe it or not, I think in some of their vehicles that they did back in the 80s, they were very attractive. Like the Galant was very attractive, the Sigma was very attractive, even the little Mitsubishi Colt, like the 81, 82, they were really nice looking cars. I don't know, maybe it's my eye. I enjoy seeing them, but not many people saw that same in these vehicles like I did probably. And back then I wasn't driving. I was a little kid. I didn't have a license not even to drive a four wheeler in the forest. Less of a car, and. But still, these cars were quite Probably misunderstood. Now, like I said before, you don't see them around no more. These cars has vanished. I haven't seen a Mitsubishi Starion in on the roads, not even on car shows in I mean years, years. But you see Toyota Supras, but you see Nissan ZX, and you may get to see also the Subarus, the sports car Subarus. But forget about these Mitsubishis; they're vanished. They have disappeared from the earth, at least in North America. I'm gonna let it go around a few times, and I'll be right back. All right, everyone. So, what do you guys remember about this '80s sports car? My question is, I would love to know. You know my questions by now if you follow my channel. But I would really like to know: will this car sold in your country? Do you still see them around? Because, like I said, in North America, I haven't seen them in many years. And they're not that old. They're a late '80s car, so it's not like we're talking about a '60s. So that's my biggest question. Are they still around? Did you like them? Were they reliable? All right, everyone. Don't forget to give me that nice thumbs up. Thank you so much. I always like to thank everyone that's been watching, that's watching the channel, that likes what they've seen. And don't forget to click and subscribe and click the bell next to the subscribe button. That will remind you when I'm posting more videos. So it helps you, and basically you are being reminded of whatever comes up next. Okay, take care of yourselves more than ever, and goodbye.